have started the preview player.
Just go to Wix.com.
The preview player. The preview player is on.
I can change the text. Okay, now for my favorite part. Right here, you can do whatever you want. No rules.
Hey guys.
Hey. I look amazing here. I mean, I'm scrolling.
It's raising my adrenaline. You're banging on a heart of tin. Please don't make too much of it, baby. I have started. Say the word forevermore. That's not what I'm looking for. All I can commit to is maybe. The preview. Here's what I do. I'll be loose. Not like we have a day with destiny. Alright, man. Let's get this. Let me get my life together over here so we can do a lot of chat. I'm very singy today, which is just wonderful. Hi, Passion. Hey, girl, hey. Okay, hold on. Let me close the door, you guys. Can't stay. I've gotta go away. This evening has been so very nice. Ooh, it is cold outside, isn't it? There's bound to be talk tomorrow. Okay, hold on. At least I'm gonna say that I tried. Oh, I really can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside. Oh, hey guys, Miss Jennifer Johnson Lee, hello. We've got Angel Author, he loves me. You're having a some zodiac questions. Does Aries, it's cold outside, isn't it? Aries and Sagittarius. Well, that's a really interesting combination. It's both fire energy, but it's a different kind of fire energy. So it can go well together. And remember, when you're thinking about, you know, does a relationship work? Is this energy compatible? You really got to look at a lot more than just the sun sign. Now, of course, if all you have is the sun sign information for both people, definitely use that. Do your best to take a look at it and see what aligns. I think it's an okay energy. It's just two different fire energies, and you have to understand that they work differently. They expand and they explode and they impulse differently. So do a little study on that, but I think so. He loves me. I think reasonably well placed. Hello, Dream Achieve Repeat. Heard that message today, right? I heard that message right now. Thank you guys so much. Should you panic when you have your Saturn return? Yes, absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. It's just human nature. Like, we're just like, oh, a thing is happening. I should definitely freak out, right? Oh, I love you guys. No, do not freak out if you're having Saturn return. A Saturn return is sexy. It is significant. It is you getting to take a major life change. It means you have to grow up. Like, I mean, unless you're afraid to grow up, which most of us are. Okay, like most of us are. So if that's the situation, but ultimately, no, a Saturn return is not your ultimate signal to freak the heck out. That's not what that's about. It's about coming to the next level. So a Saturn return is amazing. Now look guys, I'm going to put in our chat box here along the side, I've got a couple things. I know we still have a lot of Saturn questions and things like that, so I'm going to put a link to the Saturn situation videos over here. I'm going to put those back out there. Those did incredibly well. People were really into that, so I'm going to put those back out there. But also today, because we're going to be talking about this lunar return that's actually coming in January 31st, I have a new video or live session product. Either way, you can take advantage of either of them, where I will go over what the lunar return, let me get my life, what the lunar eclipse is actually going to look like in your chart, as well as your progressed chart as well, because we want to kind of look at both of those. So I'm going to put both of those products out here, and I want to just throw this out there. I'm getting super pumped. I'm watching it. We are almost to our next milestone here on the channel. I'm actually popping in to just see where we're at. We're almost at 34,000 subscribers on this channel, which is so very exciting. And you know, when we hit a milestone, I do a gift. So I'm trying to decide what gift I want to do. So I'm thinking about it. If you have some ideas, throw them out here. I will certainly consider them. And as soon as the minute we hit 34,000 subscribers, I'm going to launch whatever this cool gift is that you can take advantage of, especially moving into 2018. I know we have a lot of questions out there. So, oh my gosh, you guys, we are 20 people away from 34,000 subscribers on this channel. So good times, good things ahead. Let me grab that Saturn situation link, and then we're going to get started talking about this lunar eclipse that's going to be coming. This lunar eclipse is very exciting because it's actually going to be in a really nice alignment with Ceres. And if you haven't studied about Ceres, or you haven't watched my Ceres series on my channel, make sure you definitely check it out. I'll make sure that after this video is done, I'll pop a link to that so you can check out the Ceres videos as well, because it's just good stuff. Ceres is really about like this woman power, you know what I mean? It is, and we have seen in the world, we're seeing this Jupiter in Scorpio is really bringing a lot of the woman power and a lot of the sexual secrets to the surface as well. Let me see. Here we go. Saturn situation video. There we go. So I put that link out there. Hello, Heather. Hello, Grace, Jacqueline, Chanel, Coco. Oh, hey. We've also got JR. Thank you guys so much, too, for, hi, Karen and Melanie. Thank you guys so much for the compliments on my hair. This was a super cool, really big deal, and I want to show you guys something really quick. I have this product. I'm going to actually be giving it away in a week. They are these cards that came from a client of mine, and they look like tarot cards, but they're wisdom cards, and it's so funny. It's the wisdom of natural hair, just really beautiful. There's 55 cards in this deck, and it's all of these little just reminders about connecting to natural hair. And it's so funny because about a year ago, she actually gave these to me, and I had them in my stack, and I wasn't exactly sure what to do with them. And then I was having this moment with my boyfriend, and he's Caucasian, so it's so funny. So he got to see me with my wig off. Yes, I took my wig off for him, y'all. That's how I knew I loved this man, because I took my wig off for him. I was like, I was married before, and that man had never even seen my hair, so this was a big deal. So it was so funny though, these cards represented themselves to me, and I started opening them, and I just was like, I didn't realize what a that it was my be brave moment. It was another one of those fuck it bucket moments. You know, I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to just do it. I'm going to try it, because I love my natural hair, but I don't love my natural hair short. I really don't feel good about it short. And it was about this time, you know what I mean? I tell you guys all the time, take leaps, take chances, do that thing that you're afraid to do. And so I have pulled it out. This is the natural short little fro I'm rocking right now while it grows out. And it's been welcomed with open arms. You guys have been nothing but beautiful as I'm moving around the city, as I'm doing all of these things. It is nothing but, you know, welcome. So I'm just saying it's been super interesting and a pretty beautiful experience as well. So that said, I've got that Saturn situation link up, down there, down there in the chat box for you. And just a minute, we're going to get into talking about this lunar eclipse. I want to make sure that this feed is okay. It's telling me that there's a little bit of something happening with my video resolution. So I want to check that out really quick. It's health. Now it's only okay. Are you guys able to see me and connect with me okay? What's happening down there? Oh, hi from Miami. I want to make sure that we've got a good, strong stream here, guys. So I may change this video resolution. Give me just 2 seconds before we jump in. Things just get so crazy, living life gets hard to do. Please turn off any outputs to change the video. I don't know what that means. How do I pause? How do I pause my stream? Can I pause my stream? Okay, guys, I'm going to pause my stream for just a second and change my resolution, and I will be right back. Right back. Don't run off. Okay. There we go. Hopefully this kicks back in and is good. We're going to see in just a second. There we go. Now we have a good status. That's what I wanted. Okay, so hopefully Okay, good. I think that we're back on. I think that we're ready to go. Yep, Passion Tea 1111. All right, I think we're ready to do this, talk about this. So anyways, like I was saying, you guys, these cards are going to be an amazing giveaway that I've got coming in just about a week. I've got a mystery giveaway this week, so I'm really excited to get that out to you guys. So either way, let's get to talking and rapping about this lunar eclipse. Oh my God, I'm so crazy. I still didn't put that other link out there. Oh, I'm trying to get my Mercury retrograde life. Mercury retrograde has certainly come for me. It's not a bad one. It's just a funny one for me personally. I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but it has certainly come for me. So let's see. Let me get this out here real quick. Oh man, and you guys, I have so many cool things coming in 2018. I have got a newsletter that's going to go out just to update you guys on everything that's coming, new products that are available, things like that. So keep your eyes posted for that. And I look forward to, I've got one-on-one teaching that's just being done a little bit of a different way, all kinds of good stuff. I've got 2 brand new coaching packages out that actually I think help make sense of your astrology money for the year. I gave you a way to break it down all year long, get all the checkups that you need unless you feel like you require more, so you can do that and be financially sound and fit with that. Okay, here is the 2018 lunar eclipse video link, okay? So if you want to know what this eclipse is going to look like for you personally in your chart or your progress chart or your progressive cycles, you just let me know. It's right down there. I will also be doing one for the solar eclipse as well. So, okay, it's time. We have arrived. I am just not happy that this says that this stream is only okay. I am not in love with that at all. Okay. So, hopefully this video is catching. Hopefully you guys can see me. I see the timer is being a little bit weird over here. We're gonna roll with it. Okay, so we've got this lunar eclipse that is going to be coming on Wednesday, January 31st. This one's going to be at 11 degrees of Leo, and this one is a total lunar eclipse. Now, keep in mind that the eclipses, whether it's a solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, full, totals, partial, it doesn't matter. The lunar eclipse is our full moon for the month, right? And we're actually going to see that we have 2 in January, which is good stuff. So this one being at 11 degrees of Leo, and it also is in extremely close alignment with Ceres. So this moon and Ceres, both very feminine, very female energies, very womanhood kind of energies as well. This moon is also going to sit in a quincunx with Neptune energy, which is again a very spiritual, very compassionate energy. So there is a lot of like female, feminine energy rolling around. And not to mention, now here's the thing. We have in astrology what is called the precession of the equinoxes, which is why in Western astrology, we do not base our astrology on the constellations. We base ours on the seasons. Now, if you're doing sidereal, you're gonna base on what's really going on, planetary positions, right? But because of the precession of the equinox, we are actually having this total lunar eclipse in Leo. Uh-oh, what happened? Somebody's telling me it's not working. I'm getting all pumped over here, so hold on. Okay, let's see. I want to pause this and come back to it. What's happening? What's going on? Oh, what's going on? That's what's happening for me right now. I am really feeling like Mercury is winning. But I'm still in the game. We're still in the game, guys. Okay, we've got an okay stream here. What's our preview look like? Let's get this preview window rolling. Hopefully this puts us back on track, guys.
Do you need the most trusted battery this holiday?
Christmas Eve will find me
trust the world would be just as happy without them. Maybe you could trust you wouldn't be replaced.
I'll be home
I'm still
for
in the game. We're still in the game, guys.
Christmas.
Okay, we've got an okay stream here.
Okay,
That's our preview.
this I just
Let's get the
refreshed.
preview window rolling. Hopefully this puts us back on track, guys.
Do you need the most trusted battery this holiday?
Christmas Eve will find me. Okay, I'm gonna wait just 2
Just
seconds.
as happy without them. Maybe you could trust.
I just refreshed. There's a little delay on my side, so I'm gonna just wait before I get back in it and get hyped, because you guys know I get pumped up before I start going again. And really, I'm gonna just start from the beginning so nobody misses a thing. So let me know, guys.
Do you need the most
Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear and see me singing. Okay, here we go. From the top. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so let's go back in. We're talking about this lunar eclipse. It's coming January 31st. It's going to be at 11 degrees of Leo. Now, this is our total lunar eclipse, and it is our full moon for the month. So keep that in mind. We're going to talk about what the lunar eclipse meaning is as well, so we have some clarity around that. But this particular eclipse is going to be in the sign of Leo.
Okay,
and this moon is in really tight alignment right there with Ceres.
All right, so
both the moon and Ceres are very feminine energy, so high femininity. Women hear me roar. It's just a lot of feminine energy. This moon is also going to sit in a quincunx to Neptune. Okay, so when we're looking at this Neptune situation, what we know is that
is going to be in the sign of Leo.
Something else is open.
Moon is in really tight alignment.
Let me pause the preview. How is that? You guys shouldn't be able to hear around that preview now. I'm telling you what, Mercury retrograde is here to win, isn't it? There we go. Okay, there we go. Now the other one is turned off. Are we all good? Like, are we all good right now, guys? Perfect. Mercury retrograde, I'm coming for you. That's what's happening. Okay, lunar eclipse. You guys are going to know the lunar eclipse like by the time we're done. It's happening January 31st, 11 degrees of Leo. This is actually going to be in close alignment with Ceres, in a quincunx to Neptune, and also it actually sits in the constellation space of Cancer. Now, what you've got to keep in mind is that in astrology, in Western astrology, we do not base our practice on alignment with the constellations, right? We base ours in Western astrology on the seasons. So we have what is called the progression of the equinoxes. And what that essentially means is that even though we're saying it's in Leo, as far as where Ceres is going to be, as long as where some of this more independent female energy is going to be, it's going to actually be sitting in the constellation of Cancer. So it's in the Cancer constellation. So if you were to pull up one of your little sky maps or things like that, one of those apps, you would be able to see that, oh, it looks like this full moon lunar eclipse is happening up here in Cancer, but it's really not. For us, it's happening in Leo. Okay, so when you think about all of these different factors that are at play though, we've got the moon, very female energy, right? Very feminine energy. We've got Ceres, this is also a feminine energy as well. Now we've got Neptune, a very forgiving and sometimes noted as feminine energy. And then we've got it in this constellation of Cancer. I mean, this is feminine energy on go, right? This is feminine energy on go. So what are we going to see as we're looking at this particular lunar eclipse? First, I think we need to talk very quickly about what a lunar eclipse meaning is in the first place. So the lunar eclipse is like any other full moon, but it's stronger, right? Because a lunar eclipse focuses our attention in on relationships, on your home, on your family. This is the moon. This is big energy. Now, a total lunar eclipse has an even stronger influence on your life, because what happens is it blots out our emotions. So it's like, zoop, I totally can't see you, and pops back out. So it blots out your emotions for a minute, which can act as an emotional reset. Now, when we have the sun and the moon in opposites, we have the qualities and the instincts of each. And at an eclipse, they're at their peak, right? So this is opposites. I'm always looking for balance, because this is at an eclipse, they're sitting in opposition, right? So you have to think your needs versus your wants. Your desires versus your needs are going to sit in opposition while you're experiencing this eclipse, okay? That's right. I certainly think that we will see some twin flame action happening for sure. But either way, now when we're looking at the energies of how an eclipse lasts. First of all, it's really going to depend on your own personal chart what this triggers for you, but usually the effects last about 6 months, and some of it can be up to 2 years depending on what it is lighting up. I'm telling you what, if this eclipse is on any of your nodes, you want to definitely pay attention to that. You want to definitely pay attention to that, because that's big energy. Now, when we're looking at the way that these mix together, we've got the moon, we've got Ceres, we've got Cancer energy, we've got quincunx and Neptune. This is around women. Ceres is that ultimate independent woman. It is, Ceres is also a very innovative energy as well. So it's not just women, but it's like women in modern times, women innovated, women and women's roles and femininity, a new intuition. It is just innovation. It's just different. It's like women have been popped out of a rut, right? That's kind of what this energy is about. So that's what I think that we can most certainly expect to see. We can start to see ourselves in our home life, in our relationships. We can see moms, single mothers, working mothers. You see that opposition that we've got going on? We can start to see ourselves looking at what we think about these feminine energies in our lives, what we think about women in our lives, what we think about women's rights in our lives. You know, we've got Uranus moving into Taurus. This is going to be high femininity as well. This is going to be the theme that we see here. Now, I'm telling you, there's going to be, over the next year, 2 years for sure, a lot of social discussion, a lot of social debate, a lot of political debate, and this eclipse is going to bring another factor into place that I think is really important. It's not just women. It's going to be your ideas around home, around parenting, around your history, around the past. Do I keep the past or do I let it go? A full moon brings culmination. It says something needs to end, be acknowledged, or adjusted. This is in a very big way. Are we going to keep living out these ideas from the past? Are we going to keep living as women from the past? As a woman, what ideas from the past do we need to keep that actually keep our society and ourselves and our souls healthy? All of these ideas come to the table. It's really about healing, and what it is not is exclusive to women. It is a women's energy, but it is about women raising this vibration, raising this energy, bringing it out to the surface, and healing as a whole as women, but also including these men and these children, including our society. When women's energy gets together, when that feminine energy gets together, that's fire, that's change, that's the breath of God, or whatever you want to call that highly divine energy. That's where that shows up, and it can be healing and life-changing. So I think that we are certainly going to see a fair amount of that. Now, like I said, because this lunar eclipse does actually fall in the Cancer constellation, and we have this, and it's a fixed energy, right? Remember, it actually sits between two fixed stars. So I'm not going to get into the fixed stars because that's just too much. I don't necessarily care to cover those, but I do think that the moon in the Cancer constellation gives us this really powerful tool to look at housing, housework, house beliefs. How are you nurturing yourself? How are you nurturing your family? Are you doing something where on the inside here, are you doing work that nurtures who you are? Do you hate your life? That's a very big thing, right? Because it's emotional. This is the most domestic place that you live. It's a sensitivity. This is charity. This is all of those things that come together. Now, when we look at the eclipse, the moon in a conjunction itself with Ceres, let me just check. Yep, we're doing good. I just want to make sure we're all still here on the same page. Now, because it's in such a close conjunction with Ceres, it's going to focus our attention on the polar opposites of parenting, mothering, and these domestic things. So like I said, the traditional roles of women are going to start to look a little bit differently. We're working mothers, single mothers. We're going to start to see these things in a different light. Parents who are the sole parent who is a father, I think also, like, so single parents or primary parent being father, I think are also rolled up because it's whoever the nurturer is, right? We're going to challenge our ideas from the past. Now, in certain circles, I think what we're going to see religiously as well, especially ones where women face more torture or oppression or things like that, we're about to see a rise up. We're about to shine a very big light on this. We're going to shine a light on that extreme and start to see things become in a different light. It doesn't mean that that will end for those cultures or those societies, but it means that we are going to take a much different light and view on it. I want to speak to, for just a minute, to my parents, my families, who are going through, struggling with, working around custody issues. For some of you, this may be the polarity that you're dealing with. You may be starting to deal with some shared custody issues, right? Maybe you're separating. Maybe you've been thinking about separating for a very long time and you're like, I can't go because of the kids. I can't go because it would be too expensive. Any of these things, if there's a separation that's happening for you during this eclipse or it brings one on, I think that you are going to find yourself in a little bit of dispute. I don't necessarily think that this is going to be just very easy unless it looks like it in your chart, but you will be, I think there will be a dispute over assets or finances or something like that. But what it will be ultimately about is finding balance, seeing both sides. Now, the tightness of this conjunction between the moon and Ceres tells me that the main caregiver, whoever the main caregiver in your situation, now this could also be taking care of someone elderly, right? Maybe you're taking care of a parent, or maybe you're taking care of somebody, whoever you're nurturing. If you have to go to court over something, it actually gives the primary caregiver. That doesn't mean the executor of the estate. That doesn't mean the ombudsman. It doesn't mean any of those. It means the primary caretaker, their day in court. It actually favors you very, very strongly. So kind of keep that in mind, okay? Now, the other thing I'm thinking about as I look at these energies, and I just kind of look at the breakdown of the chart, the sun really does represent more of a male energy. So when I'm looking at this, what I'm thinking of is, okay, we've got all of this healing women energy. Now we've got the sun, and this is dominance, this is ego, this is very male energy, this is politics, this is religion, this is any of those things that kind of have that more associated male energy. Now the sun also represents the role of providers, as opposed to the nurturers as well. So I think that this, again, within each of us, besides bringing this kind of global healing that's going to happen to the patriarchy of what we have, redefining our idea of the patriarchy, not hating the patriarchy, but seeing where it needs adjustment, it's going to create this little tug in each of us to say, where's my balance between work and family? Those issues will be highlighted here at this eclipse. They just will. Now, we bring in this quincunx with Neptune. Now, quincunx energy usually says these placements don't really understand each other, right? It's hard. It can be a hard energy. And this is a tense aspect, right? So it makes things even more emotional with this energy of the full moon in Ceres. And then we've got this Cancer constellation, right? So what it could feel like for some of you, especially my intense water signs, is this could feel like too many feelings, too much emotion is rising to the surface, and it actually creates a little bit of confusion. The confusion increases the tension. right? The tension continues to increase and will eventually reach this tipping point where you either have to have a complete meltdown, stand still, do nothing productive and move forward, or take some kind of action. Now, the same thing, I am always mindful when Neptune gets involved, especially around a moon, of my friends who suffer with addiction, right? Here's the other thing though, not just addiction. And you know, we say Neptune and everybody runs to drugs and alcohol, but it's more than that. If you have, let's say, some kind of disease, if you have an infectious disease, if you have a disorder, if you have a syndrome, this could trigger those things. One of the other things I caution everybody about, not in a scary way, in a pay attention way, is misdiagnosis. Right? You go to the doctor, you're like, oh, I think I have the flu, or you go to the doctor and you're like, oh, I don't know, I think I just have an ear infection, and you get a misdiagnosis and it turns into something bigger. Pay attention to your body. If you feel suspicious about what's going on in your health or your home, be a bit mistrustful, right? Like, act as a patient, not just a patient, but a participant in your healthcare and in your relationships, because you're really going to have to pay attention so that you can listen to what your own body is telling you. Trust that divine energy, whether you're male or female. Trust it, because it's trying to angle you back to something. It can lead to a bit of confusion. For some of you too, looking at the fact that women tend to be chatty. Right? Like, we're chatty, we're social, we're communicative, we are a communicative gender. And now we're here with some Neptune energy and it's in a quincunx, so that's harder. Some of you could see some scandal, some gossip. We could certainly see this from our politicians, right? There could be betrayal. This is certainly an energy of loss. Now, the loss I feel like actually can come with this Neptune energy. It doesn't have to be the kind of loss where you necessarily melt down, but it's a loss that needed to be lost probably a long time ago. Like, you've been needing to let this go, right? And this energy, kind of that tension, comes to the tipping point, pushes it over, pushes it out, right? So this is actually, I think it can be a kind of a loss or a closure that actually is allowed to come to you as well. But it's certainly an energy where Neptune gets involved, we can have a little bit of disappointment. So, you know, I think kind of being what always works for me, the advice I give to everybody is looking at the situation honestly for what it is, not what you want it to be. Right? Like, what's the honesty in the situation? Was it time for this person to leave your life? What's the honesty in this situation? Was it time for someone to make their next transition, right? Like, we don't want our friends, we don't want our loved ones, we don't want our children, we don't want all of these things to die, we don't want them to move on, but we are not in charge of that plan. We are participants, right? So keeping this in mind, that we get to manifest while we're here, we get to do all of these things, tap into this beautiful spiritual space and spiritual energy, keeping in mind that the universe is always working in perfect order. So it's like coming to trust the transits that we're having, I think, is one of those beautiful things about using astrology as a tool. Things are moving right along at perfect speed. So let me just bring this as a whole to kind of a close what we're looking at here. The full moon total lunar eclipse happening January 31st, 11 degrees of Leo, is actually happening in the constellation of Cancer, and that is because the progression of the equinox that puts it in Leo. This energy of the moon is going to be tightly tied to Ceres, which is a very independent woman kind of energy, bringing a full nurturing female healing tradition, questioning energy to the table. Also going to be in a quincunx to Neptune, so bringing our attention to the rights, the conditions, the beliefs of our family, of the women in our life, women's rights, parents, parenting, nurturing, caregivers, health care, right? With the sun and the moon being here in this opposite, we know that we're going to need to think and watch in terms of polarities, what I need versus what I want, what I believe a woman is, what she actually gets to be, what I believe healthcare should look like, what it actually is. It's time to very carefully take a look and see also if you have the right balance in your life, this balance of family, of work, of balance of work and children. Are you with your family or are you at your family? Because those are two different ways of showing up in your life. We want to be with these people. We don't want to be at them, right? Much different place. So I think this is going to be a really interesting lunar eclipse. I think some of the ideas and conditions that come to the table will certainly challenge and push each of us to grow 100% in terms of a very nurturing energy. And sometimes the biggest thing that I think that we find out is that we are somehow out of balance. Or, you know, the other thing that I also think is really interesting is, for me, I have children. I work from home as well. Asking my children, how much time do you feel like you're getting with me? Do you feel like we're connecting? You know what I mean? I think that it is a courageous parent who asks that question, because sometimes these little people will tell you, no, you're always rushing around. I feel like you don't have time. You know what I mean? Things like that. It was a year ago in working with Stormie Grace that it was my youngest who said, I feel like you're not getting enough sleep, so you're grouchy with me. And that is eye-opening. Right here I am trying to push, trying to hustle, trying to do what I think Spirit would have me do with this business and show up. And I'm missing some basic health care in my own life, which is keeping me from showing up presently with the people around me, because I can be inconsiderate in my home, and that is not something I wish to be. I wish to be a woman of a little bit more integrity these days. So now, things to think about as well. The lunar eclipse is going to be visible. People who can see it is going to be over northern and western North America. Of course, in the Pacific, Asia, and Australia, you guys will be able to see this for sure. It's going to last for about an hour and 15, 16 minutes. And it's really cool because with this one, the moon gets to kind of change colors a little bit. So we'll get to see it be a little bit red pinky. So kind of neat. So oh, thank you guys so much for loving the hair. I'm telling you, I'm really giving it a try. I'm working with it over here. I'm trying a couple things while I grow it out. So you guys, I love you. This has been an amazing little chat. I'm sorry that the beginning was so like start, stop, start, stop. I'm sure that by the time I get ready to put this up, I'll probably download it and cut out that first part. I'm going to do my best with that so that it's, as you go back and watch the replay, you're not having to watch through all the crazy. Either that or I'll just put a timestamp in the description box so that you can start right as we really got kicked off. Now, keep in mind that the Saturn situation videos, I've just put those back out there. I've also got the 2018 lunar eclipse video readings that I just put out there as well, and those are $40 for that video. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to find out what this lunar eclipse has got happening for you, because this is the impact of 6 months to about 2 years, right? Then you just click the link. I'm going to post both of those links just one more time so that everybody has them. Oops, let me find those links. I'm going to post them again so that you have them. And keep your eyes peeled, you guys, because I am going to be putting out, like I said, my little newsletter, and I'll also do a video. I have got tons of new stuff coming for 2018. I've got the 2 coaching packages which really help you make sense of your astrology money and time for the year, right? Especially if you're transitioning, you're starting a new business, a new project, something like that, and you want guidance all year long. This financially makes sense because I just don't think right now, at least anyways, in my career, that astrology needs to be so entirely expensive. I think we all need to be spiritually, financially responsible and accountable in this space. But I'm just not at that place where, you know, a 30-minute session needs to cost $700 with me yet. That's not today. So I want this stuff. I want this year. I want these products to make sense and be useful to you. So I always welcome your feedback on the products and things like that as well, you guys. So let me get these links. I'm over here talking about it. It's like, don't talk about it, Stormie. Be about it. Be about it. So let me grab this link for you guys. And oh my gosh, I hope that your Mercury retrograde is going really well. I hope that you are learning. I have certainly gotten to look back over some things. It has been absolutely amazing. I have gotten to relook over my home life, and as a matter of fact, because this energy is happening in my 4th house for me, my boyfriend and I are actually moving in together. It gave us that opportunity to stop and look back and say, hey, what do we want to do here? So that's been absolutely amazing. I'm slowly moving my stuff in over there, which you guys already know. I've already been slowly moving my stuff in over there anyway. So we officially decided to live together, and it's like, woohoo, nothing really changed because all of my stuff's here. But it's an amazing new way, I think, to be welcoming you guys into the new year with me as well in my new home. You guys will see it. The background's going to look a lot different. If you've seen in the weekly videos, The backgrounds look different. They're a little rough right now while we're trying to get everything moved in and a space set up for me to work. But the show must go on. You know what I'm talking about? And just spiritually, from just the perspective of the spiritual space, I too feel like I've been getting all of these downloads. Like there's just all of this information. I have certainly in this retrograde encountered some fears that I didn't know that I had, or some old beliefs. I don't want to necessarily say fears, but certainly old beliefs that I had around things, and I'm having and getting to put them down and go, oh no, wait a minute, here's something else I think. And so many of those things have to do with, what do I think about being a woman? What makes me beautiful as a woman? What do I believe around things as a woman? You know, one of those things for me was very much so my hair. Right? Like for me, I'm like, oh no, I can't have short hair and be feminine. I can't have short hair and be confident. And I went through a very big depression the first week that my hair was down, because I'm like, this just does not feel like me. There is a big difference, and I genuinely believe this, in being natural and being authentic, right? Naturally, I have learned to love my hair and appreciate it in this state, and I'm growing with that, and I see that naturally it is healthy, how to care for it, how to love it, how to do all of those things. But authentically, this is not an authentic Stormie Grace experience for me, right? Like you guys know, my interaction is this glitter liner. That's very authentic. But lots of hair, like, you know, if I'm sitting under 5 pounds of hair, I'm just like, you're getting the authentic. So these things have been challenging to me. Who am I as a mother? My children are a different age now. They're at a different place. They have some different questions. I've got one getting ready to move into puberty while the other one's getting ready to move into high school. This has brought up different conversations. This has brought up different places where am I helping them spiritually on their journey. I've got this beautiful man in our lives who they absolutely adore, right? And he has changed our dynamic with them. So it's really the spiritual space of what's happening, getting into fear. About 2 weeks ago, I got into just a ton of fear around this business, around Stormie Grace. Can I really go out there and do this? Am I really built to do this? And you know what? The thing that I preach to you guys, if you've met with me as clients, if you listen to my horoscopes, the thing that I preach over and over and over again is you can't think yourself into a new place. You have to act your way. I can't change my thinking with my thinking, right? Like my head will tell me something that is not legit. It'll tell me the I can't. It'll tell me this isn't right. This isn't good enough. It'll tell me any of those things. And the only way I have to battle that, my spiritual tool, is action. The thing that my head is saying I can't do is the thing I go do. And when I go do that thing, a miracle happens. A miracle happens, and the miracle is, one, I don't think what I thought before. I don't feel the way that I felt before. And two, and three, it is usually well received, and I see myself do that thing that my head said maybe not. So I absolutely support it. My word for you is action, action, action. Listen and take action. Listen and take action. I mean, like, I just even feel it today. We've got some presents in the room today, so whoever is joining us, welcome. It's a very big, beautiful light. I hope you guys can feel it. It's a very joyful light, very giggly. So, you know what I'm saying? This is stuff. Yes, we are all confronting. We are all confronting something, and it is usually not the outside stuff. This is inside stuff that's been in those little nooks and crannies, and some of those things haven't been in the nooks and crannies. You know what I mean? Some of them have just been there, but we have not been seeing them, not wanting to deal with them. And now they're here. And what I think happens for people, in my experience of being a people, is that if there's a thing and I'm not ready to see it, deal with it, work with it, whatever that looks like, when the universe sees that I can appropriately bring that energy to the table, bring a healing energy to the table, bring the energy to the table of believing that no matter what happens, I'm protected, that's as things come up. You know what I mean? I genuinely have to believe in a universe that has my back. If I don't believe in that, I'm like, what the heck am I doing? This is just all for naught. And I'm basically just trying to outrun planets, I'll try and run myself, I'll try and think God, I'll try and think all of these other things that I cannot in human form. The other thing that'll happen is that I start to think I need to be too spiritual, that I need to just be in my spirit, and I forget that I came to have a human experience, right? I'm having a human experience, which means I got to experience this like a human, and sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's weird, sometimes I say cuss words, sometimes I put on colors that just do not match my skin tone, you know what I mean? Sometimes I do things that are really dumb and that I would never want anybody to know. Sometimes I do things, or I hurt, or I sit with things and I feel like I can't possibly tell anybody. And it's not that I have like murdered a bus full of cats, okay? It's nothing like that. It's that I'm hurting. I feel awkward. I don't feel good about me, and I feel like there's nobody for me to trust. And what's the word? What's the action there? Action. Action. I got to get a really, really big fuck it bucket and say, in my fuck it bucket, you know what happens? Here's what happened. I used to have what's called the God box, right? And I use God very openly. If you don't identify with that word, you use whatever you call that source, okay? I just use it for convenience. When I would be stuck with something, when I'd be feeling some kind of way, I'd be like, I can't handle this, you got this. And I would put it in that divine God box, right? And I let it go, and I would move on to something else. I'd be in action on something else, right? And you know what? That worked for a very long time, and I still have a God box today. It's working. It's fine. But as I got a little bit more into what I'm doing, I found that God connection. I found another source connection that is running through me, because I don't have the energy to do my life. I got to be running off of divine energy. My life is too stupidly beautiful big for me to be doing that on my own energy. I can't. I got to tap into a source that is unlimited. You know what I'm saying? But so as I found my feet and I saw myself and I connected with you guys and I connected with my family and I saw myself able to move, I became what I call a humble hustler. I got to keep it humble. Right? I got to remember that I have this very big life because something divine, I allowed it into my life, and that we're working in collaboration and cooperation together. So I got to keep it humble, but I got to hustle. I got to move. So my God box had to get bigger, and I'm like, oh, I say the God box, and for me it feels so soft and it feels so safe and protected, and I needed something better. I needed like the hustler's box, right? So I got a fuck it bucket, and that is what I carry around with me today, you guys, and I preach that to you for sure. If you are afraid, that's the thing you think you shouldn't do, put it in the fuck it bucket and move on. Do it, right? That's what I do. I developed these products coming for 2018, and my head is like, nobody's ever gonna want that, they're not gonna like that, they're not gonna whatever, and I was like, fuck it, let me create this and move on. So I put it in the bucket, I took action and did the footwork to create these products that I think serve you, serve our interaction, teach you, at the same time, honor the life that I have and the gift that I have. And guess what? It's working out just fine. Right? When I think, oh, I shouldn't be doing videos, I just say, put it in the fuck it bucket, and I move on and I make some videos, right? So whether it's a God box, whether it's a fuck it bucket, whatever you need to call it, action is still the word. Action is still the key of how we get from this place to this place and watch the miracles unfold, right? That's beautiful. That's beautiful divine energy. So, and I know I'm not alone. I know that I am not alone. I know that you guys are on board with this as well. You guys are humans. We all are. We feel this. We experience this. So if anything today, if you learned a little bit about the lunar eclipse and you feel prepared and you're ready to, order your products, do what you need to do, get the information you need to get, but that you also don't feel alone. And you know that if nobody said it to you today, if nobody told you today that they love you, I do. For 100% sure, just because we're part of this human family together, and I get you and I got you. So I love you guys a ton. It is time for me to move on to the next event of my astrological day, which also includes writing some more on my dissertation so that I can graduate, right? So I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for not giving up on me while Mercury was trying to win, okay? Mercury was trying to get us today, guys. It sure was. So I love you guys very, very much. I look forward to putting up the weeklies. I look forward to walking you through January here in just the next couple days, and also to introducing you to all of the new products that I have for you that make your year and your guidance easier and your interaction and your learning still just as fun. So I love you guys a ton. I will see you in the weekly video here. It will be up just very, very soon. Bye, everyone.